is our National Day of Action, where we're looking at inequity, which is why we went to deal first. And so, you know, our purpose of coming here is not to look at your school and you know, why don't they have this one? We know why you don't have it, right? And so, but then we also know what we do see. Like we already see, you know, the resiliency, the love that's in the building. So our whole purpose is making sure. So what we're doing is we're fighting the privatization movement. Let me just make it clear. We are trying to chase privatizers down the street and out of our cities. Because I'm from Chicago, you got folks here from DC, I'm from Baltimore, Newark, New Jersey, Paterson, New Jersey, Camden, New Jersey, New York, right? Am I missing anyone? Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I don't want to forget Pittsburgh. And so, and in all of those cities, we're going through a lot of what's happening here in DC right now. Isn't it like half the children here go to charter school?
Just about.
Yeah. About half the children go to charter school. And is it a coincidence that the black population in DC has gone down? You know what I mean? So I just want to let you know who we are and why we're here, right? So I just want to open that door. I do have one question though, after all that. Let me get my question. All right, so my question is, so with all the work that you're doing, what do you think the impact will be of proposed budget cuts that you all are facing?
So, for us, we're in a different situation than other schools. We were impacted, but not as heavy as other schools based on our enrollment has been trending upwards, and as well as how I at the school prioritize what's important in my building, like what is necessary, what I'm not letting go of no matter what. And so understanding with that, the most important piece of this building are my teachers. Those are the last people I'm letting walk out the door. So since that's my priority, then that may mean I can't buy 10 computers. I can't take my kids on 3 field trips a year. Like I may have to adjust some things because I feel like the adults in the building are the most important, and these kids need stability more than anything. They need to know that the people who are here with them are the same people that have been with them since they were in 6th grade. Now that they're in 8th grade, so I think that that's important. So it is about a hard priority juggle, but for us it's a little bit different. Like what we're losing, actually we're losing a social worker, we're losing a custodian, and we have an awesome community partner called City Year. I know they're in a couple of places. So we're having to reduce our City Year core from 10 down to 3. So those were some of the impacts. So like I told my teachers, we have to reduce their money in professional development. So we had to make some of those tough decisions, but I wanted to make sure my teachers were the people here in the building. So those were the largest impacts for us. So it was a little different.
What would you need in this school in order for it to, like, in a perfect world, right? Like, what would you need in this school in order for it to do exactly what you need for it to do?
So I'm gonna say my piece, and I'm actually gonna ask the students, what do you think if we were given a pot of gold blank check, what should we do if we had more money? Where should it be spent? Better technology.
Speak up, babies.
I would say the gym. It is a little bit outdated compared to other schools around DC.
Okay. What else?
Auditorium lights.
And the auditorium.
Auditorium lights.
And the lights.
What you think, young man?
The AC, like in hallways and in the auditorium. For that.
Can I contribute?
Yes, you do.
I would ask and budget for, with the money, pot of gold, more teachers so that we could reduce our class size, our teacher ratio, class size.
Do you have diverse books for your kids to read?
Diverse.
Yeah, so I've been here for 4 years, and what I will say is that over the past 4 years, the district has definitely invested. So there's a $20 budget per pupil per year. I don't think we're gonna have it moving forward, but that's actually pretty good, and it's allowed me to buy enough books and build a collection that wasn't as diverse when I first got here. So absolutely, and I've partnered with other organizations like this past winter, there was an Amazon book drive, so I just created an Amazon wish list, and people from all over the country bought books and donated them. So I was able to, again, build the collection that way. And the other thing, I don't mean to cut you off, the other thing that is different and unique here is that DCPS has deemed every school that has students 300 or more, a librarian is mandatory. And I
Hi
know
everyone, thank you for welcoming us into your school. Question is, I know in New York City we get in our schools, right after charters get their funding, an influx of students. So I'm wondering if that is that a reason why you've had such an influx, or have you seen that happen here as well?
got fast.
I'll say this, in the past 10 days, we've enrolled 10 kids.
Wow.
I mean, up until like yesterday, we got kids. And so, it's for various reasons, yes, it is that charter let out that happens, but then there are lots of things where some of our neighboring charters are closing, or they're going through a transition, and parents are deciding, well, let me go ahead and move my child now before we even get started for the next year. So it does happen. So we are a truly transient population here. So the number we start out with, so our number we started the school year with was probably 353. Today we have 381.
And that money does not follow the
No.
students
We
back
know
to the
that.
public school. For the last 5 years, from 1,800 to 2,000 students after the October audit transition back to public schools. The money does not follow. My question to the city council in our last meeting around the cuts to our school budgets was, where does the money go? And they didn't know. They said it does not come to the schools that receive the students. So basically, we asked them to find an additional $35 million, which we calculated from the 2,000 student number multiplied by the per pupil to give to those schools that are receiving those students. Because the district council basically said, in order for them to find that money and give it to the public schools, even those that are losing funds, they would have to give the same amount to the charters, no matter what.
It's a running joke. One of my teachers, when we say we get a new student, well, did they bring a chair with them? We're running out of chairs at this point for our students. So yes.
Organizing with the Baltimore Algebra Project, we do like youth-led like activism in school, like education, all that type of stuff. So I guess my question is more so like outside of like school and books and stuff, like what engagement or like activism do y'all see that kind of stuff in school? Is there like space for that? Do you guys have like a SGA? I don't know, but is there like what autonomy do you have in school just like as a young person?
I think if I remember, there was a presentation by Fly by Lights. What was that name of it? And it was basically a group that allowed you to express yourself through like dance, music, or other activities. And after that, we have Top or Power that will come and like students to take on field trips around DC to show them, like, for example, gentrification in different places. So that will give them an opportunity to see what's going on around the city.
I would also just like to add, for those of you all from Chicago, we have a branch of Mikvah here. And for the past 2 years, middle school students from Hart have won the Soapbox Challenge or placed in the top 3. And they've talked about inequity in education. They've talked about absentee fathers. They've talked about gentrification. So we definitely, like, we're trying to cultivate young students who care about their environment and are seeking to do change. Because they see, you know, like, even though some of our students don't make it, we say across, I don't know, we call it something. But anyway, students, they don't necessarily get out of Ward 8 often, but when they do, their eyes are open and they come back and they don't necessarily know how to express what they're seeing. So all of the teachers here do a really good job of helping them kind of channel how they feel that angst and put it into something constructive.
The students noticed the difference. How did it make them feel? The same as it's making them feel now. In this ward, Ward 8 and Ward 7, both wards collectively have taught over 31 years. These schools have been starved of resources for decades. The disparity in what we see from ward to ward, from zip code to zip code in 2019 is a travesty. We've got to put it into it. The budget cuts in the proposed mayor's budget are criminal. The hardest hit schools are schools right here in Ward 7 and 8. schools that have been underserved and under-resourced for decades. And I want to thank Jitu Brown, Journey for Justice, the Alliance to Reclaim Our Schools for this journey, and we are with you all the way in ensuring that our schools, our children, all of them deserve quality schools, and we're going to keep fighting until we have it for all. Thank you.
Communities that need bold investment the most. Enough of marginalizing our young people who have the most challenges and have the least resources. Enough of the dichotomy in our city that says if you're more white or more affluent, that you have more of a chance of opportunity than if you were born poor or black or brown. Enough is enough, and I want to thank everybody for being here today to stand with us. Again, my name is Marcus Batchelor. I'm the Vice President and Ward 8 Representative on the DC State Board of Education. And every day of my over 800 days in office so far, I've been working alongside folks like this to make sure that we end the process of underinvesting in our schools, that we fundamentally change the way we fund our schools, that we fundamentally focus on the students who have the least, and focus on all of our efforts and all of our resources on making sure that they have an equal opportunity to be successful. Because what folks like this know and what I know is that strong schools build strong communities. Strong communities support strong schools. And it goes both ways. So while we need to support our folks, our teachers, our educators, our counselors here on the ground, we also need to make sure that we're building the human capital out in our community. And so I want to thank all of you for standing with our students, standing with our educators, to say that enough is enough. You shouldn't have to do more with less. You shouldn't have to meet the high goal of raising people out of poverty, out of generational poverty, out of generational neglect. You shouldn't have to do it on a shoestring, because our children matter more than that. Black and brown families across this country and in this city matter more than that. DC natives like me who need an opportunity to stay here deserve more than that, and we're going to keep fighting until victory is won. So thank you.